Everything so far is like lining up so perfectly. Like when I pre-sold it the day of, it hit like top 99 for love. And for like relationship, it was like maybe top 1,000, but there's like over a million books in Amazon. So that's like not bad, right?
Not at all.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, like this is a great sign. Like I really think that this is I say it's the book it took a lifetime to write.
Welcome back to another episode of Attractive Mindset. And today's guest, this is going to be super interesting. This is the first type of guest we have like this on the show, who is not only an author, but also in tech and a actual digital nomad. Yeah. A lot of people don't know what that is because I didn't even know what that was, but I'm going to let her introduce herself, Miss Dinah.
Hey there. I'm so excited to be here, Rich.
Absolutely.
Yes. What a blessing.
Yes.
Yeah. So I've been working on my business for a while now. And it's funny because when you have a business and you're working hard and you're like busting your ass and you have those moments where you're like going on the ups and the downs in your personal life, you're like, how am I going to get through this? Like I have to juggle a business and take care of my personal stuff. It's like, how do you not make those two intertwine? So when I realized that my personal life was starting to like affect my business and I could only be as strong as who I was as a founder, I was like, I need to figure this out. So I went through a whole journey kind of figuring out like how things were affecting my love life, my relationships. And that's when the book came into play. So I had this whole epiphany moment and I'm like, I'm going to share this with the world. Because it doesn't matter if you're a business owner or if you're just struggling to find the right relationship or partner, even with your family relationships. It's any type of relationship that we go into. The book is really there to guide us and really unveil the truth as to why things are going on the way they are.
No, super, super dope. So before we dive into any of the present tense stuff, let's take it back a little bit. And so tell us who Dinah is. Like, where are you from?
Yeah, so I'm Dinah Sade, and I'm from Rochester, New York, right? Originally.
Okay, New York in the house.
New York's not, but it's not the cool New York, y'all. Like, I mean, obviously, it's like upstate New York, so I get like half the cred.
I'm from Brooklyn, so y'all gotta accept her. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you. Give me the keys to the city.
As long as it's not Buffalo, we all right.
I'm like an hour away. Come on. Like, all right. It's far enough away. Yeah. So I was there, and then I actually, I graduated from college. I went to a tech college, and then I went to Charlotte, North Carolina, because it was the banking capital for a while. It was like where every business was moving. So I worked at some of the biggest banks in the world, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, doing global operations. I know, like crazy, right? But I was in corporate. And so I always was like struggling to get out of the 9-to-5 hustle. And it was something that I had to really figure out how to do. It took me like almost 8 years to finally be able to make that leap. And for a lot of us, we never do.
Facts.
Right. But I had to come up with a game plan. And it took a lot of mental shifting and reprogramming of just like how to accept life, like accepting the fact that I could be living somewhere else or working from home and not being in office, like accepting and visualizing being anywhere in the world and being completely independent from a boss or, you know, whatever. So it took a lot of reprogramming to even accept or desire those things in a way that was like practical or like these are the action steps to get there. So it's funny because when I first moved to Florida, this was like 3 years ago. I met with my business partner. Well, it was a partner back at the time. He was my mentor. And I said, I'm coming down to Florida for two things. I'm ready to start my business and make my first million and to find my husband.
Oh, those are two. You found a husband in Miami?
I know. Well, let's say I'm still single, but I got the first one. So yeah, it's one of those things where I'm like, you know, I was determined to like make a change and people looked at me like I was crazy. My family was like, she is literally like insane. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to make it happen. And it's funny because I said, I'm giving myself a year to come up with a game plan to make this happen. And literally my last paycheck to me, it was like the, you know, paychecks they give you after you, I can't think of the term, but
yeah, I know.
It was like after so they gave me all these paychecks. Then the last one came in the mail. It was literally the first week of the new year. So it was like, that was cut off for me. Like that life of like being an employee was done. And I was like, all right, it's time to go. You know, it's time to get it.
So before we go even further, what led you to tech in college?
Yeah. So I went to a tech college. I went to Rochester Institute of Technology.
But what made you want to do tech? Have you always grown up liking tech stuff? Because that's a specific industry.
Yeah, it is. It is. I think because I've always been fascinated with the idea of technology, not so much the application of it. So what I was fascinated with is the fact that tech is the great equalizer. And I kind of talk about this because it's one of those things where, like, if you go to a third world country and this kid is like, a Mensa type level mindset, and they're learning to code and they're doing these things, and it's like they could change their whole like village, country, like by just doing something that's different in technology, by creating an app that saves and makes money for their area, or creates a way to create water in their, in a place that doesn't have water access. It's like, or make millions, and they literally didn't have a college degree or whatever. So it's an equalizer of power, because you could just learn how to do this, launch something and make it available for the world. And literally, like, the sky's the limit, know? So it's just amazing. And also just the idea that you could take something like an app and disrupt a whole culture. Like, think about what's never going to be the same again in the last 10 years. Social media, dating. And what is one app done for just the lifestyle we live? Like Tinder, we experience like a now on demand for whatever we want at any point. Like, relationships, sometimes have issues because of Tinder. It's affecting like our whole culture. And so I just think it's fascinating. So my goal is to create apps that, and my clients' goals, a lot of times they come to me and they're like, we have this amazing thing that's going to change the world. I'm like, let's do it. So like, I'll give you a couple examples. We're doing an app right now that's called 911 Missing. It's meant to say for a child goes missing, right? They have a show on Hulu called Missing Everything. They're really big. They'll automatically send a text message to all your contacts, and anyone in that vicinity will get a message, and they'll say, do you want to send this flyer to all the people in your contacts? So it geofences the area, and literally within an hour, millions of people could potentially know about this missing kid and help solve like these issues that are happening. So I'm talking about like major disruptors, right? Yeah. So, and then I did like an all-female Uber app called Just a Rideshare. So just like really cool things that are going to help people,
Wow, all female Uber app. That's a great
idea.
My
friend said I should have called it Uber.
Uber. Your friend is on to something.
I know. I was like, should I copyright that?
You might have to. Hey, that's a good friend right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so you go into college, you get into tech. So now that you moved to Miami, you said these two things. You want to make $1 million, you want to find a husband. Yeah. We know you got the first one, and the second one didn't work out. Is that what led to the book?
It is. It is. And I say that I'm like, this last story is, the inspiration of what made me decide to write this book, but pause for, applause. It's also what caused me great pain. Right. So I'm like, every lesson, usually comes with, that pain.
So how many lessons did you have to have before you're like, I'm putting this shit in a book?
Well, let's just say these are 5 of my most toxic relationships, but they're not all of them, sadly to say. But, it was like, I'm a type of person where I love being in relationships. And that's just like what I've always gravitated to. But I realized that was also what's holding me back, right?
When's your birthday?
When's my birthday?
Yeah.
All right. You want to know a zodiac sign? Is that what you're asking?
That is what I want to know.
Okay. I want you to guess.
I said,
I want you to guess.
What's your favorite number?
Ooh, right here. You see the tat?
I can't see
1111.
1111. Okay.
Yeah, so 11 is my favorite number.
You strike me as...
I'm trying to embody my sign right now.
You're definitely a fire sign.
Ooh, interesting.
And I said that like I even know what the fire signs are. I know one fire sign, but Capricorn.
Ooh, you're actually... Wait, when is Capricorn? Because obviously it's not me.
January.
January? Okay, you're like 2 months off. I'll give you that hint.
Forward or backwards?
Well, then you'd be cheating if I told you that.
Aries.
Oh, interesting. Because that is a fire sign.
It is.
So I'm a Libra.
You're a Libra.
Oh, I'm a Libra.
A Libra.
I am the best sign. Libra gang, gang, gang.
So
I'm the
your
best
birthday's
sign
coming
that's out
up.
there. So it's funny you say that I'm fire, because I think I have some fire in there somewhere.
I see it.
Yeah, but I'm very airy and floaty. Like, I love, beautiful things. I love like
Libras
balance,
are toxic.
But I'm still toxic.
Yeah, the Libras are toxic. That's what it is.
Well, the whole point of the book is that we're all toxic.
We are, but Libras are more toxic than most.
Oh, come on. And what's your sign?
Absolutely. Guess.
Ooh, okay. I get a question, right?
Yeah.
I like to say this is my party trick, but like I only get it 50% of the time. But when I get it, I'm like, yeah.
Okay.
Shit. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to ask 2 questions.
Okay, fair.
Okay. Are you spontaneous?
Yes.
Do you tend to give more than others than to yourself?
1000%.
Are you a Cancer?
Wow, she really
No way.
got it.
I really got it?
Yeah.
Get the fuck
July 10th.
Yeah, on live.
Yeah.
Just know.
July 10th.
I know my
That was good. That was good. You might have to really tap into this book.
I know. See,
going.
I'm good. I'm telling you, read the book.
Which month Libra are you?
I am the best month of Libra, which is October. And I will say this. This is going to come out so cocky, but I'm going to say it. This is I always joke around.
I mean, if it's a Libra saying it, they're not worried about it.
Okay, you're right. It's a Libra thing. God kind of knew what he was doing because I got a perfect score, 10-10.
Yeah, okay, 10-10. Wow, okay. 10-10 and your favorite number is 11-11.
Yeah.
There we go.
I believe in numerology a lot, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
My favorite number is 3.
Oh, beautiful.
I see 333 everywhere. What does that mean?
Do you know what that means?
No.
What did I look up last time? I think it's something like abundance and like financial wealth or something like that.
That's why my name is Moneybag Rich.
That makes sense. I love it.
Yeah,
Keep attracting that money, baby.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
Okay, so we got a Libra, 10-10. Okay.
Yeah,
wait, your birthday. I'm about to say that's
so. Believe it or not,
days.
Can you believe this? So I was like, all right, I'm not gonna obviously celebrate before my birthday. I'm gonna celebrate after.
Why?
And the only day. Well, I mean, I'm not like Libras love to be in the limelight, but we also hate it at the same time. So like, I hate like putting all it together and all that. So Saturday, next Saturday is when I plan on celebrating. Ironically enough, my book goes live on the 4th. It was not planned. On Saturday, my book goes live in Amazon.
Wow.
So I pre-sold it for the last like 3 weeks, but the date that it landed on was the date I'm celebrating my birthday. So I'm like, okay, this is a good sign, you know?
Okay.
Yeah. And it's funny because my narrator who's doing the Audible, because it's going to be on Audible, she read it and she was like, I literally cried. And like, to me, this is not a book to make money. I make enough in my tech business. Like that's my revenue generator, right? This is literally a labor of love. Like this is my way of trying to contribute to the world in what way I can. Because let's face it, I'm telling 5 stories of failed relationships. That's really freaking scary and that's really vulnerable. But at the same time, I feel like there's so much shame around relationships and what went wrong and who got cheated on and the shame around those things and how it failed. It's like, why would I bring that to the world? Why not bring, the release of that? Why not bring what represents like saying it's okay to talk about it? So that's why I'm like, it's my ultimate act of like, being, in a vulnerable state to show it's okay for other people to be vulnerable.
Got it.
Yeah.
So now with that, do you think your book is more, since it's from your perspective, do you want to talk to more women or can the guys really read this and understand something too?
Well, if you saw the cover, I'm trying to get the attraction from the guys too.
Okay. What's on the cover?
Well, let's just say the first idea for the cover shoot was to have flags just covering my lady parts.
Red flags.
Yeah, red flags.
Okay.
But then I was like, all right, Dinah, like we want to get into Barnes and Noble, so let's chill out, So I just did a red bikini and with the flags in the side of the picture. So it's crazy because it came out exactly how I envisioned it. And everything so far is like lining up so perfectly. Like when I pre-sold it the day of, it hit like top 99 for love. And for like relationship, it was like maybe top 1,000, but there's like over 1 million books in Amazon. So that's like not bad, right?
Not at all.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, like this is a great sign. Like I really think that this is I say it's the book it took a lifetime to write.
Okay. So that was my next question. I was going to say, going from a more technical field to a more creative field, how long did it really take you to just sit there and dump these things out?
So let me address the first part because what you said was like coming from a tech background. But like when I think of my tech business, what I really think of the heart of what I'm doing is I'm creating from inspiration. Because my founders come to me, they're like, I'm inspired to do something. I'm inspired to make a change. So I'm really like creating. So in the business, I feel like I'm doing the same thing. And just like when I wrote the book, I'm just creating. I was actually, I did music for years. I've done art. Like I'm
a singer?
Don't even try this because Brendan tried to get me
to
sing
you a singer?
Listen,
you got.
I'm just like, no, but
we need the beat. Where's the beat?
So yeah, I was in a girl group. Shout out Frenchie. We thought we were gonna be the next Destiny's Child, all that. So like, it was fun, but it was a journey. Like it was amazing. We created a lot of great stuff together, and that's where I met my best friend was through the group, and we're still besties to this day. But it was, it was fun, but we were creating. And so when I think about the book, I went through this like epiphany moment. I'm like, you know what, I'm learning something here. And something is so clear that when I would sit down to write, it would just like literally pour out of me. So I feel like it was definitely through inspiration and some kind of divine, inspiration that was happening for me. And I literally wrote, I mean, some authors take like years to write a book. I literally wrote it in like 5 months.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and when I went to Europe, I was telling you how I spent the summer in Europe. I was actually supposed to go with my ex. And I was like, you know what? Like, let's get our little eat, pray, love on. Let's like go by ourselves. Let's country hop. Let's like explore the world up by ourselves. And I did that. And it was the most liberating thing ever. And I was like, I met people while I was there, but for the most part, I was focused on, healing, self-love, and finishing my book. And just as I was writing the book, it was like therapy, because I was like learning as I went, and I was like doing my research and being like, oh, wow, that's crazy. Like I have a term in the book called love DNA. Love DNA is like what we're imprinted to be attracted to. Ooh. So if you go back in your relationship history, do you ever like notice that a lot of your people were the same person with different faces?
You have a lot of Libras.
Hey. You single, Rich?
No.
I'm playing. Sorry. I didn't mean that. I'm joking. But yeah, no. Oh my God, your girlfriend's gonna hate, or wife's gonna hate me for that. But anyway, good entertainment.
She's cool. She's Aries, fire sign.
Oh, okay, so good. You learned your lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're toxic.
Yeah.
What can we do?
Yeah, Libras or something else.
We are the best, though.
Dan has a mic. Dan wants to say something. Hey.
Libras are wonderful. Okay, Libras.
Thank you. I knew I liked him.
Yeah, man. Come on now.
What sign do you think he is?
Don't ruin my streak. Come on, I'm
Go
on
ahead.
the streak. I got 1 for 1.
2 for 2.
All right, make it easy. Just ask me the questions. I'll tell you.
You got this.
You put it okay, but if I get 2 for 2, like I want like a prize or a gift or something.
We got you.
All right, cool. What's it gonna be though?
Listen, it's your birthday.
Yeah,
yes.
We got you. Say
all right. Okay. All right, you ready for my questions?
Yeah, I'm ready.
I need you to make eye contact with me.
Said like a true Libra.
All right. What is your best friend's best trait?
Honesty.
Boom.
Okay.
I'm his best friend if you didn't know. I had to put that out there.
You do seem very honest. Okay.
Yeah.
What is a quality you despise the most in people?
Disloyalty.
I see the connection now. Okay. I'm going to go with Leo.
No.
Oh, come on. I thought it was going to be a yes. He really turned all the way around just to say no.
It was the dramatic pause.
It was a dramatic pause.
Okay, one more try.
You got this.
All right.
I believe you.
Okay. Can you tell me the element? Is that too much?
I feel like
I don't think he even knows.
No,
Okay.
I know.
You know?
Yeah.
Tell me the element.
All right. Water.
I don't know what I was thinking. I was thinking the wrong shit.
You're Scorpio.
I thought you were fire.
Damn. What are you?
Pisces.
He is.
Pisces. I didn't know they cared about loyalty that much. I think he's a one-off. That's not my fault. He's the anomaly.
Right. He is a little
I
anomaly.
got my 1-1, my 100%
You did.
ratio back.
You caught me with that one. You caught me with that one.
Not you.
He's an outlier. I don't want to hear it.
That's supposed to be
Pisces.
my man. This is crazy.
Pisces don't even know who the hell they are. I don't want to hear it. Talk about loyalty, disloyalty.
Pisces is a little different too.
That's wild.
But
Exactly.
So you just gonna turn on me? You're my people. That's crazy.
Pisces are toxic too.
Wow.
But Libras, out of all the signs, I promise you, Libra is the most toxic. It's been proven.
You know what, Rich? Maybe you have some unhealed trauma that you need to talk about.
I do. I need to read your book.
I'm thinking about starting, and maybe you could get some like comments in the chat from this. I'd like to start toxic therapy.
Toxic therapy. So how does that work?
Like on the couch, I'm like, I'm going through like checking the list of like, okay.
So give me the questions. What's the questions?
Oh, you want a quick session?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to ask you a question. I can't take full credit for this. There's a doctor, and I'm going to botch her name, Sade. She asked this recently, and I thought it was phenomenal. What is the one trauma that's going to affect your relationship?
What is the one trauma
Yeah, like
from
basically,
an ex?
yeah, what is the one trauma that's going to come up in my relationship that is going to affect my relationship with somebody?
From anybody or from an ex?
From, well, let's say anybody. Yeah.
My mom not being in the picture.
Wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a big one.
It is?
Yeah. So out of the love languages I told you, which do you think you are? Or do you want me to tell you which I think you are?
Which do you think I am?
I think you're the runner.
Ooh. I used to be.
Okay.
I used to be.
All right. So I was kind of right.
I am delivered now.
Okay. That makes sense.
You know?
Yeah.
And so when I started studying psychology,
Ooh.
you know, that's how we got to attractive mindset, because I was in the Marine Corps and I did, you know, some deployments and we met some people and did some stuff.
Yeah.
And I had to really reconfigure my mind when I got back into civilian world.
Yeah.
And that's where I dove into really psychological books.
Ooh,
and
tell me, like NLP, dark psychology,
all of it. I started studying Feynman techniques, Freudian techniques, Carl Jung, all of them, and really going off the 12 archetypes, like really just targeting that person, because I didn't know why I was doing some of the things that I did.
Yes.
And I also blamed myself for my mom. And I was like, was I that bad of a person that she just left me, you know, in New York? And so I really started targeting that factor. But then I got really good at business as well. And blending that business psychology of things, I stopped running.
Okay. So out of all the theories, like, are you familiar with attachment theory?
No.
So it's basically the characters in the book. That's really kind of the Fabergé egg, you know, that it's in the center of, right? Like, so it's like a pretty story, but really we're going into a John Bowlby's attachment theory. But it's also more than that, because I don't know if you're big into like Joe Dispenza or anything like that.
Okay,
but
I've
like,
heard of him.
Yeah, so he talks about like epigenetics, which is similar to kind of the premise, a lot of those things you just talked about, which is mindset alone can literally change your DNA.
100%.
Literally. So like, we can start thinking different thoughts. And when you think about what is a personality, when you really think about what you say, I'm this way, I am X, bad thing, I'm a bad boyfriend, I'm not worthy, I am not whatever, right? So if we think about that as our personality, and we think, let's reverse engineer that. What is a personality? A personality is a set of habits, right?
I've never heard it described that way. Okay.
Okay. So it's a set of habits because it's your mindset is a set of habits because it's the things that you think on rerun, on autoplay, right? It's like your default. So what are habits? Habits are actions.
Yeah.
How do you take action?
Execution.
Thoughts. Thoughts create the action. Like, I'm going to pick up my phone. Boom. I picked up my phone. That's a thought that turns into an action. So when you really think about it, like, there's nothing permanent. There is no I am anything. It's whatever you choose to be every day, whatever you choose to think every day. Do you like that? I like
that. So intellect is clearly not your toxic trait. So what is? Because that, I'm a sapiosexual, so that's attractive as hell. Like, you breaking all of that shit down and you're like, this is what it is. You're right.
Did I really do that?
Yeah, you did. And the hair flicked and the light hit it and it was just
magical.
Yeah. And so how did you end up in these relationships where you feel like it was toxic or you had a level of toxic to give? What was your toxic trait?
So I was all of them, but what I found to be my predominant trait was the star. The star is someone that is bright, vibrant on one side. They're very illuminating. They're magnetic. But on the other side, they're dark.
Dark. What is this?
There's darkness on the other side of every star, right? So the darkness represents the fears, the shame, the unworthiness, all these feelings that make you want to run away and not accept love. And so it was like a way of being able, like, you know, stars want love more than anything. So do Libras, ironically enough. We're ruled by Venus. Like, we're the lovers, right? And that's our thing, is relationships. So ironically, the one thing that is like in all of my traits is the one thing that I couldn't crack the code on. And so it just came down to feelings of unworthiness and feelings of, you know, deep down, subconsciously, not on a conscious level, because we all are like, oh, I'm the shit, I'm this, I'm that. But at the end of the day, a lot of those things are just giving us the feeling of it. We don't really own it. Meaning if you lost your job tomorrow, you're going to feel like you're not shit, right? Because you use that as your identity. So if you strip away all the things that give you that confidence, like, do you still love yourself? Do you still think you're worthy? If you aren't making money and you lost everything, like, can you still feel that feeling of worthiness and self-love? That is how you know, right?
So where do you think that version of your shadow self came from?
Yes, I mean, like you kind of mentioned just now, like with growing up and everything like that. Basically, I had a very tumultuous childhood that, had underlying beliefs of unworthiness, like, feeling abandoned, all those emotions that 0 to 4 we're forming our like prefrontal cortex. We're really like developing our mind, and that's when we first develop what love is. So that's why in the book I even say, like, we're never seeking love, we're never chasing love, we're choosing and chasing familiarity. Family, familiarity, right? We're choosing that first caregiver, what they gave us. So if we got abandonment, we're going to look for more abandonment. If we got, someone that was super clingy, we're going to look for that in a partner. Like, we're literally cradle to grave.
Have you ever been in voice acting?
What's that?
You ever been in voice acting?
No. Was like, I got like a hidden skill?
Do it.
Voice acting. So don't tell me this, because I've had so many people like, did you narrate your book? I'm like, no. And
that's
like,
what I was waiting for. As you're talking, I'm literally hearing your book. She might be amazing, but do it.
Really? I hate my voice.
No.
That's so funny.
No.
Wow.
No, when you called, literally, you can ask him. I was like, she sounds like trouble.
Then you really should have known I was a Libra.
Yeah. It's like, she sounds like trouble.
She sounds like
But
trouble.
you got to narrate your book.
Oh my God. I literally was scouting a narrator because I wanted to be very, like bipartisan for the age. Cause I wanted it to get, my millennials, my, Gen Y, Gen Z. And like, I wanted to get everybody. And then I also wanted it to not be like any race, right? Like, I really did my best to try to find that neutral ground so that I could attract everybody. And I was like, for me, maybe it would be too like one way or one, you know what I mean? So I was like, I looked for that and I was going through and I heard this girl's voice. I was like, she is the one. Shout out to Gina Rogers. Thank you so much. And I love her voice. I will be narrating my like trailer and stuff. So I'll be like talking over my clips of the book. And I it's funny because when I thought about doing the book, I was like, I'm going to make this an experience. I want people to see the scenes of the book and feel the emotion. And like, I'm narrating little clips of the book so they feel like it's an interactive, like, event.
So and I got a production company. So, you want the motion film?
Yes, absolutely.
We could.
Let's do some collabs. I love it.
Because you have like, I'm excited already. I don't think I've been this excited to like really read a book.
Really?
In a while. And I read a lot of books. Wow. And I don't read them for more so excitement. I read them because I understand they're going to teach me something.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I'm actually excited to read this book. And I'm like, man, like, I don't know. I'm just excited. It's great.
Thank you. That makes me feel so good. I mean, really, it's like, you even struggle with that same feeling of like, I'm not an author. Like, when you're writing your first book, you're like, what do I know about writing? There's people that go to school for this. And, I was like, you know what? We're not doing this. We're not doing the unworthy thing. We know better, right? So it's like, I had to really get past that. And obviously, like, feeling so vulnerable, sharing my intimate details, even my childhood. Like, I'm talking very like, I'm talking about some really crazy, tragic things. Like growing up with my grandparents and losing them and, not having my caregivers. And so like, I talk about it and I really hope, this is my goal, is that someone reads it and they feel like they're heard, right? They feel like understood and like, damn, like, you got this girl that you would never think that like she went through these things or has struggling with relationships and everything. But like, yeah, we all do. It doesn't matter how pretty or successful or any of those things. We're all human. Like, we all have to face our shadow side and our demons, right? So, and especially the most successful people, they all got chips on their shoulder.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Okay. And so do you feel like you being a digital nomad added to this culture of your book?
That's a great question. I think that being able to travel more definitely made me experience more gratitude. As a kid, thinking back to like, there was a time that I had a girlfriend's mom say, don't hang out with this little girl because she doesn't have parents. And coming from that, and then seeing Paris, having a place right in front of the Eiffel Tower, going to yacht week, staying on yachts and living this life. It's like, I built this. Like, no handouts, no silver platters, no trust fund. Like, no, like, I did it from the dirt. Like, I did this from the mud. Like, I got it. And I'm still getting there. I still, it's a struggle. I'm still a new entrepreneur, but like, I've created this out of my mind and like my heart. And so to me, it just gave me a whole different level of gratitude, honestly.
And so now I'm going to give you a tough, sensitive question.
Shoot.
If you did have what society would call the norm and had parents, do you feel like you'd be the same person you are today?
Absolutely not. That's why, like, me and my mom are best friends. Like, we talk every day. She knows way too much about my life, if I'm being honest, like way too much. And she did not raise me. She did not raise me. But I literally told her, I'm like, thank you so much. Because had things not gone how they did, I would never be who I am. Every single step of the way was so divine and so, like, as hurtful as it was, so necessary. Some of my best connections I have now are because of people I met through my experiences. And so, like, there's nothing but gratitude. Yeah.
And so do you have kids?
I don't.
Do you want kids?
I do.
And so when you have kids someday, what kind of life do you want them to live?
Yeah, because that's a good question. Because coming from what we just said, like, how do we like raise a healthy family in a healthy environment, but also give them that desire to want more? Because, it is kind of almost this cliche where you have struggles and trauma. And so you want to be super entrepreneurial. Like, it does kind of have this like stigma. But I do think that there's ways to instill like being an example of love. And that's why for me, I'm never going to marry a man for money. Like, that's one thing that was always a hard no. I've dated athletes, I've dated rappers, I've dated everything, but it's never been about the money. It's been about who they were, like their personality. I've dated people that are making $10 an hour, right? Like, I look at like who they are. And so for me, like, I will not settle for a loveless relationship that's not genuine, because what are my kids going to see? If I'm just dating a man because of security or because I want babies or whatever, like, what is that going to show the child? They're going to show that like true love doesn't exist. I want them to be like, my parents were in love their whole life. That's my ultimate goal.
And so with you saying that, I was about to say something completely wild, but
say it. Say it with your chest.
I was going to say, are you looking for sugar babies, for one? And then for two, so you're not one of those females that are like, we got to go 50-50, or are you doing 100 if you need to?
Yeah. So am I looking for sugar babies?
Yeah. I'm trying to put y'all on. Listen, I got you.
Absolutely not.
What?
Like, no.
Absolutely not? Like
you mean sugar daddies?
No.
Like younger guys?
I don't have to be younger guys, but
okay.
Just you taking care of them. They can love you.
Yeah.
But you take care of them.
Okay. Let me ask you this. As a man.
Yeah.
How do you identify as your success?
How do I identify as my
what
success?
do you attribute towards like you, like a level of success? What do you define that as? Like, give me like one thing that you think is the core sign that you're successful.
People,
meaning?
Help a lot of people.
Okay, help a lot of people. All right, give me one more. Like in a household.
I have time freedom.
Huh?
I have time freedom.
Time freedom. And how do you get time freedom?
I make money.
Okay, so one of the things that you define as a man is being able to make money and provide for yourself. So if I have a sugar baby and he can't feel like a man, it's a disservice to both of us.
But that's how I feel.
Yeah.
What if his feeling is different?
I think there's core, essence of most men. I mean, maybe it could coast along for a few years. But I've tried the thing where I've dated people that made less money than me. And while it's not a qualification, I just find that it does work better if we're both actually like building a business or working towards something with a stable, income and those things, so that there's not that rivalry. Because I've noticed that that's what tends to happen, is a rivalry when there is almost like this underlying kind of like fear or jealousy when like the woman's making more. But some men are okay with it.
I'm
as long
perfectly
as there
fine with
is
that.
a respect from the woman, right? And so like the thing is like, what kind of sugar baby we talking? Like someone laying around the house all day while I'm working 12-hour days?
No,
Like
not
no.
necessarily laying around the house,
Okay.
but I mean, if you the breadwinner, like, hey, what, I don't know,
Yeah.
whatever you need them to do.
Yeah. No, I don't think that would be attractive to me personally,
Mm.
because I really admire like some traits in myself that I see in other people, because we're inherently egotistical, right?
So
So
what
I
are your
love my
traits?
hustle.
Okay.
I love my passion for life and like my desire to create a legacy. And like, you know, not everybody has that, and that's okay. Like I don't need to be the most successful woman in this world, but I do want to lay on my deathbed feeling like I fucking did it. Like I did it. And so like if I feel like I left something on the table, it, you know, for me, it wouldn't feel like, I feel like, damn, I need to go back and do that again. Like
Fair enough.
So if I meet somebody that doesn't have that same passion and zest for life, like I would be like, this really isn't vibing with me, you know? So, I mean, if they can be passionate and they could be maybe not earning as much, it's okay. But there would have to be a level of acceptance of that and knowing that and not resenting that in the future.
Now, what about the other side of that where you're successful and they're successful,
Yeah.
but you're both busy because you're successful?
Yeah. Yeah. So that's a good question, because I think that there's there's stages of a business, right? And it's to be expected in the first like 3 years, you're probably hustling. But I actually say this a lot, like a high quality woman isn't going to want a man that's like always busy, 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 and like, cause what are you gonna do when you have kids? He's not gonna be around. Like he can't be part of certain things. And like, to me, that's not a good dynamic. So like, as much as I want them motivated, maybe I sound like I'm asking for like the top 1% right now. I don't know. But like, I want it to be where we're both like maturing into our business, where it's not dominating our life. And if you run a business correctly, you should be able to ultimately in the first 3 or 4 years be at a position where you're kind of just managing things, So that's my goal. Like I don't want someone that's obsessed over their business and just in it. I want them to be like working on it from like a mature business, that they can spend more time with me and not be, a workaholic essentially. Even though I understand like that's the hustle. Like my ex, we would be out to dinner and I'd be like, I got to take a business call. I'd be like, take your time. Like we were both hustlers, like we were both building businesses, but would I expect that same thing in 4 years from now? Not really.
So what would you expect in 4 years?
4 years, it's like, we can be both running a business, but it's more like we have more control of that. It's not as spontaneous and erratic. It's more, we know the system, we've built the infrastructure and it's kind of running on its own type of thing. So, sometimes it's not like that, but that's why I won't date doctors. I won't date certain people because I know what kind of lifestyle it brings with it.
Got it.
It doesn't matter how much they make. It doesn't matter how great that is. Like, I don't want that.
Okay. So your ideal guy figure seems to just be an entrepreneur.
Most likely. I'm not like saying no to people that are like working like 9 to 5s. That's okay too. But for me, travel is important. So I also want it to be where they're not like stagnant in one place. So like.
That's definitely a Libra thing.
Yeah. We're airy. We like to float around.
No. You guys get bored quick. Yeah, there's no way you could just deny that. No.
So I think with every sign, I don't know if you've like heard of this before. There's like almost like an evolution in each sign.
Is that like the second version where they have like your moon, your sun, and your whatever?
Okay, I don't know my moon and sun and all that.
Okay.
But I read somewhere where there's like colors, like yellow, red, blue, something. Like my friend was telling me this, and it kind of like marks like where you are. And so like the evolved Libra is not as indecisive. They're good at creating balance because usually that's where they struggle the most. And they're okay with like not being in a relationship, meaning like Libras are like known for always needing to be with a partner. And I kind of identify like I was always in relationships, like, it was like, damn, like I'm a chronic dater. And so taking that time away for the first time probably in my life to leave the country, live life on my own terms, and literally be like the captain of my ship type of thing. Like really like be alone and feel good being alone. Like it was the first time I had that autonomy, and it felt like, I mean, literally it felt like the most incredible thing. And it was life-changing for me. And I just felt so much more empowered. And so now I feel like I'm almost like an evolved Libra woman.
So you So even though you're an evolved Libra,
Yeah.
you are still open to dating?
Oh yeah. I'm definitely like I'm single.
So here's this. Are you ready? But why are you laughing already?
Does he know what you're gonna say right now?
He has a guess that I'm gonna say something, but blind dates with D.
Blind dates with D.
Yeah, let's start that segment. Blind dates with D.
Okay.
You know, we could travel the country and you have like blind dates
I love
with
that.
different country folk.
I love that.
Yeah. And so
well, that's basically what I did while I was meeting people, but you know, I wasn't getting involved with anybody. But yeah, no, I love that idea because like just like there's somebody that said date like 100 people before you get married, not sleep with 100. Just to be clear, because you don't even really know what you want until you're exposed to it.
Fair.
And so I think it's really good to do a lot of dating, but I pre-date.
Pre-date. What is that?
So I never want to be like, do you ever like get stuck on a date and you're like, damn, I got like 2 more hours I got to spend with this person.
No,
you go to the
just
movies.
like he said, I'm honest. So I'm
wait, hold on. So like, say for example, you sit down at dinner and it's already
gone.
No.
Out of there.
Wow. I didn't know cancers were so
later. So see, I'm
Are
technically
you evolved cancer?
I'm an evolved cancer.
Oh, shoot.
And so I just learned that term today, but I'm an evolved cancer because every time somebody comes up to me, they're like, oh, you're super emotional and cancers like cry a lot and do this and that. And he'll tell you, I am like the exact opposite. I'm not. I get told a lot like, bro, you need more emotions and you need more stuff. And I guess that comes from how I was raised without those, you know, I grew up my entire adult life by myself with no family like that. So I didn't really have that emotional attachment. Like I have a godchild. Hey, I still love you. But I was like, I don't even want to hold him. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how much I'm trying to get more in tune with my emotions. Like, of course, they kind of forced me to hold him. So I did. But, you know, like.
Is it that you
not the typical
aren't emotional or you might be like afraid of what your emotions could do to you?
No, I'm passionate.
Okay.
But I'm not emotional.
Okay. Oh,
and so I definitely am the person that will throw a surprise and, you know,
you're caring.
Yeah, I'm caring. You know, I'll do those things and I'm very thoughtful and I have that level of passion. And even though I'm very business oriented, and even if I'm caught up in my work, I'll still make time to, hey, let's go do this. I know you like this. Hey, let's go do that. But when it comes to emotions, I don't show them personally like that. And that could be also because I'm very business oriented, but then there's the military.
Yeah.
So I'm not a typical cancer.
The thing is that I find like, it's like yin and yang, right? And we think it's like what love and hate and all these other things, but it's also a representation of feminine and masculine because the white dot is like, there's mainly masculine energy in a man, but there's a little feminine. And same for women. There's mostly feminine, but what really like gives it that complexity is a little bit of masculine. And that's the ratio it should be, in my opinion, too. Like I'm a huge believer of embodying femininity, even though I'm a female business owner and I have to be in masculine energy when I'm running the business. So my slogan is sell like a woman, close like a man. So, because when you talk about, you know the term lead nurture.
Yeah.
Right. So what does that mean? I'm nurturing something that's feminine. You're nurturing, you're building rapport, you're building trust, right? That's nurturing. That's feminine energy all day.
Yeah.
But when you're making them make a decision, you're in, that masculine energy. And so I'm like, this all makes sense. Like we even use feminine and masculine in business, which is so interesting, right? So, I'm a firm believer that, it is difficult for women that are women CEOs to find the right partner. There's actually a stat that the more like either education or money a woman makes, it literally cuts your options in half in terms of like men choices.
Wow.
It's crazy. Yeah. And I don't know if it's because like men that you're interested in or men that find you attractive or something or whatever it is. Cause a lot of men at the end of the day, you really don't care how much, like how successful a woman is in business. Like, are you going to be a good partner to me? Like I got the money or I don't need that. And like women think sometimes men find that attractive, but not all men find that attractive. Like they're not looking for that.
So with saying that, why do you think more trophy wives, the term trophy
Yeah.
wife exists more than a trophy husband?
Why do I think trophy wives exist more? Because I think there's way more of a stigma about women and age gaps. Women dating younger men is so much more shameful than a man. It's so much more acceptable for a man to date a younger woman. And so, and it's also innate, because as a man dates a younger woman, it's and within his like genes to say she's fertile, she's, you know, it's just in your literally like DNA to look for like fertility and all these things. Like, so I get it. But there's also something so freaking beautiful, I think, about a woman that is mature and she knows what she wants. And, you know, and sometimes that's not always appreciated. But why do I think? I think it's because this society stigma. Like I've dated very young men before. And it's funny because like a lot of younger men are very like all like, you know, and it never happened until I got older. It's kind of crazy how it happens. And I talked to my girl, I'm like, this is really
saying
weird.
Older, but you're like 26.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So like, I love you. So like, it's like, I talked to my girl, I'm like, this is so weird. Like these younger guys are like, just all at the same time. They're like, the same thing has happened to me. And it didn't happen until I was like 27, 28. And I'm like, wow, like that's crazy. So I don't know what happens, but I do think that there's like an interest. It's like this intrigue, because when I was younger, I only dated older guys. And so like I got older and I'm like, I don't know, this is interesting, you know, like it's a whole different world, you know, different mindset, different culture. And it's kind of fascinating. But I do like older men because they do like really know what they want. They're, you know, experienced, and, you know, there's a lot of things, but there's benefits to
You
both.
smiled a little hard when you said experience. What is that smile, Libra?
Well, you know, like I'm sure you can think about where you are now sexually versus where you were when you were like 21, 22.
Listen,
Yeah.
I've been laying that dang
Oh,
since.
okay. All right. Okay.
Since.
All right.
You know
Here we
what I
go.
mean?
Let's hope you learned something. No, but you know, younger guy, you know, it's a whole thing. But I think that it's so interesting because now it's being more socially acceptable. We're getting there, and I think it should be like, you know, why can't a man start all over with someone that, you know, whatever, but a woman, you know, they use these like words like cougar and all these things to kind of make it seem like it's so bad. But like, what's the word for a man that does?
I mean,
a man.
A cougar is great. We like cougars.
Yeah, but cougar is such a negative connotation.
Why? When? I didn't know that.
Does. You don't think it does?
Not at all.
No?
Nah.
Okay. Well, maybe that's just me.
Cougars
Because like,
are
what is the guy word of a cougar? A guy.
A silver fox.
A successful man.
A silver fox.
A silver fox. That's a way to describe a hot older guy, not a guy that goes for a young girl. We're talking about when you say cougar, it's a girl that looks for young men, right?
Well, that's not how I defined it.
Oh, what
a
do you define
cougar
it?
was just a very well satisfied, stable, older lady.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've never thought about
why
it in that type of way.
So good.
Yeah.
We got through our first fight.
You see? But okay, so in a relationship, are you more submissive or dominant? You see, okay, right there, you just told me what you were.
This question, no, because I'm laughing. This question got asked last night, and so I was like, yeah. No, I like to be submissive.
You like to be submissive, but you're not.
No, I am. Yeah.
So what's the like to be?
No, I like being submissive. I like experiencing that. I think that there's so much freedom in being submissive. It seems a little backwards, but like to me, being able to finally just let go, like, and I think that that's how it should be. I think submission is very important in a relationship, and let's not get that, you know, misconstrued with the idea of submitting to something that is unhealthy, right? Let's hope we're talking about a stable, healthy relationship, and this man is healthy. And like, I'll bring in the Bible, right? It says in the Bible, like, you look to your man, your husband, and he looks to God. And if he's keeping his eye on God and you're keeping your eye on him, then it's all aligned, right? So like, in my opinion, if you're choosing a man that has good, solid, you know, foundation, he's got good morals, all those things, then you being submissive to him is only going to be a great dynamic.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so do you feel like that level of submission also comes from you being such a boss in business, that you're dominant more than most of the time, and you like to take that edge off once you get home?
No, it really is everything to do with the fact that I think it is so fun to be feminine and fall back and sit in your like power, like, and just receive the man. And like I think that's so intoxicating. Like I think it's beautiful to just like literally be like, I don't know, like to me it's just very like it's who we are meant to be, right? Like we're meant to receive, our bodies are meant to receive a man physically. And so I'm meant to receive your energy and be in my feminine. And so what I realized is I was bringing that home with me, and I wasn't leaving it at the door, and I wasn't, shutting it off. And it's never healthy for a woman to stay in masculine energy because it goes against our whole body. We're releasing more cortisol, we're releasing more stress hormone, like because it doesn't sit well with our body.
But what if you want to be a mistress or a findom?
What now?
A mistress or a findom.
So I mean, I think you're talking about sexual experiences.
Yes,
not
and
overall
no.
how we. So when you say submissive, did you mean just in sexual relationships? Like,
not just in sexual
Okay.
relations, but when you have the dynamic of like a findom or a mistress, they are more apparent in sexual kind of relationships, but some women genuinely like to be that mistress role, which
and
is
they're
just
going to attract the man that is more in his feminine. You see what I'm saying? So he likes the masculine energy for whatever reason, or she like whatever dynamic we're talking about. And usually it's going to be because that other person is more in their masculine, regardless of their biology,
And so if the guy is not dominant for you, is that a hard no? If the love is there.
Yeah, I would probably say like there's obviously levels to things, but I would say overall, I would like my man to be my leader in the relationship. Someone that is my uncle always says, always date a man that's smarter than you. You know what I mean? I don't want to be teaching my guy. I'm going to be teaching him through my love and through affection and through support and caring and showing you the side of femininity. And that's my way of teaching you, and also being supportive with your business. I think I contribute a lot to my partners and being able to be there for them and help give them insight on things and be a soundboard. But ultimately a man usually wants to be the one taking the action, not having his girl take the action for him. So like to me, I would want to date a man that's more of like a leader, more masculine energy. And I've dated men that are more in their feminine energy, and that's okay too. But I realized that it didn't put me in a feminine energy, it put me in a masculine. So yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Well spoken, well-rounded, well dispersed submission and dominance and evolvement and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And so do you feel like at this stage of your life you're going to find somebody that really matches what you want, or are you willing to sort of settle?
Yeah, so that's a great question. And I say in the beginning of the book, I'm like, what if you think this love of lake you've been experiencing is really like a trash runoff and you've been literally settling for shit your whole life? Because we don't know what we don't know. And so my concept of love has always been like here, so I've attracted here. And it's been here, so I attracted here. And I saw unhealed parts of myself in that person in every relationship. And so now that I consider myself at a new place, I feel like the partner I attract will be my ideal partner. So I feel like this is the best time to meet my partner. That's also why I haven't yet, and so I'm really excited because from a mindset of abundance, like there's nothing that bothers me more than when people say like, oh, there's no good people out there. No good guys left out there. I'm like, yeah, not when you say that.
True.
Because you're attracting that, I like every day I'm like, oh God, like, who am I going to meet today? Like, I can't wait to meet my future partner. Like, it's going to be so exciting. And so I'm excited. Like, I have a lot of options. Like, it's not like I'm, running out of options or anything, but I'm quick to be like, yeah, this is not it, and like, I'd rather get it out of the way than waste my time. So I'm definitely not settling. That's a hard no, because I don't believe in settling in anywhere in my life. So like, Why would I do it? And the most important thing, do you know that they did like, again, I love referencing studies, and I probably am getting like the stat wrong like 80% of the time, but it's something like a man's success in life or happiness in life is like 75% of it is attributed to who he chooses as a partner. And I'm like, damn, that's a lot. You know what I mean? Like your happiness in life is because who's by your side. And like we're going around.
That quote was made by a woman.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
I mean, it doesn't say it's bad or good. It's like choose the right person, right? So I'm definitely not settling, and I know that everything is meant to be exactly the way it's supposed to be. And with that mindset, like I know that I'll keep attracting the level of where I'm at, because at the end of the day, people can only love you at the level they love themselves. So if that's the case and I am loving myself, I'm going to attract somebody that's loving themselves too. And they come up and they show up as a whole person, that they don't need my happiness to be happy. Like I am so freaking happy alone, but I'm going to be so happy with somebody else. And I want them to be happy without me too. So.
I like that.
Yeah.
The well-roundedness is there. I see. And so do you feel like you would make another version of this same book, but well, it could go both ways. Do you feel like you would make another version of this book as just a part 2 as you continue your single journeys, but maybe a possible part 3? Or unless you find a partner before then it does make a part 2, but the healed version.
Ooh, you're just giving me some ideas. So I don't know if this is like a one shot, one kill thing. It's like one and done, because it was just so much of my whole life story. But I would love to see this turn into like a show, or like actually flesh out the story so people can feel it. Cause like I'm very visual. And so I would love to actually see it turn into like some kind of like actual production.
But that's what I'm saying. They got like 5 shades of gray and or 50 shades, whatever it is. And like, you should make something that you have the voice for 1.
Oh, thank you.
You have the look for 2. For 3, every guy's going to line up for that role and they don't even got to get paid probably. You know what I'm saying? And so you got to make it a development. Because even as you said, like, yes, it's your life story, but that was only that version of your life story.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah. So one of the things I had the idea of doing was talking about my experience going to Europe and what really went down, because there were a lot of juicy things that happened.
It's in the book?
It's not, but I was thinking, I was like, that'd be a good, because in the book I say, you know, the movie Eat, Pray, Love.
Yeah.
She like goes to Europe and she falls in love. She like goes through a divorce and she's like, I'm just gonna go take my bank account and just go, you know? So I say, I ate, I prayed, and I really loved.
So how come you left it out of the book?
Because I wanted it to kind of be a little bit of a cliffhanger. And also like that was kind of like a new journey for me. So I wasn't quite sure what was going to flesh out of that, you know? So now that I went through the whole experience and I'm now processing everything, I'm like, wow, it was really transformational. It was really fun. Are
you more like, do you like abs or you good with a dad bod?
I'm good with a dad bod. I like a little, like, I like to cuddle. Like I could like do an academy on how to cuddle. Like
I'm putting y'all on. I'm telling you.
I don't know if maybe it's a Libra thing. I'm a great cuddler. So I love cuddles, like all that affection. So I just feel like that's like, I like this. I don't want it to be like too muscular. I can't like whatever. But I also need like, you know, a little build. Like I need some like tight arms on. You got it. See, like you got the little like, you know, I do the 2-finger test. Like if I can fit 2 fingers up the sleeves, it's a no-go. I'm just like
hey, listen, look, I'm full dad bod, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's cool.
Yeah.
I got like a solid 2-pack.
That's good.
You know what I mean?
It's better than no pack.
Exactly. That's what I try to tell them all the time. Like, yo, I'm here, but I'm not here. I'm here.
Yeah, of course.
You take me as I am.
Yeah,
you
and also, like, why would I expect somebody to have, like, you know, like, I don't have a 6-pack. Why would I be like, oh, he's got to have, like,
but for females, it's different, though, because we like all of that shit. Like, we like fupas. We like all of that.
Who does cancers? Or men?
Everybody, men. Yeah. Yeah.
That could be a personal thing.
No. What do you mean?
Not everybody does.
If we do a poll, we got to do a poll. Hey,
All
listen, we're gonna do a poll when this video drops. Where's the man at that?
Because I think I got a
want the
fupa right
fupas?
now.
Not what? You have a what?
A fupa right now.
Impossible.
I ate Chipotle today. I got a fupa.
Here we go. Here we go. That's all you ate today?
Yeah, actually, that is all. I had my shoot for the book today, so I'm doing the video trailer, and I was like, all right, I'm wearing lingerie. I can't eat a bunch of food. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Women.
Monster. I had a monster, if that counts.
No, that's even worse.
I know.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's cool.
I'm a bad like caffeine person. I can literally drink like a latte and go to sleep. Yeah, wow. It's bad. It's bad.
I've never had coffee. Well, I lie. I've only had coffee in my espresso martinis, but I've never had coffee by itself.
Are you kidding me?
No,
like you don't like obviously like the taste if you like espresso martinis, right?
Yeah, but I've never had coffee and I've never had energy drinks unless it's in a
how do you function?
Alcohol. This is natural. I'm an evolved cancer.
Damn.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
This 2-pack energy. Like,
oh shoot!
Listen,
maybe I need to get a 2-pack.
You know what I'm saying? The dad bod evolves.
Damn, that's the secret.
This is where I store the energy.
Yeah,
and then it like comes.
It radiates out. Oh my god! All this time.
Yes. I'm telling you.
Wow, 2-pack it is.
Don't laugh too hard. Don't laugh too hard.
He's really enjoying this right now. He's like, huh? Yeah, I couldn't survive like that. I am like addicted to caffeine really bad.
But why do you like? How often do you sleep? How many hours do you sleep a night?
You sure you want to know? Like this is bad. So just this past week we were doing masterminds till like 5-6 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
So I would wake up for my meetings around 9. So I was sleeping about 3 hours every day.
That's good. I sleep about the same. 3,
really?
4, yeah.
And no coffee.
Nope.
So listen to this. So one time I haven't told you this part, but I also did a short film last year. Mm-hmm. It was like a cyber sci-fi assassin. It was really fun.
Were you the assassin?
I was the assassin.
Ooh, okay.
It turns out I really like killing people. I don't know.
Wow. That's a Libra thing.
Yeah, probably. Mm. Yeah. So this one day I was shooting till like 7 a.m. and I had to get up. Like I got like an hour of sleep and I was like about to like fall over. So I go to the coffee shop and I order a coffee. I'm like, what's the strongest thing you got on the menu? She was like, well, probably our nitro, like cold brew or whatever. I was like, all right, how much caffeine? She was like, that's about like 4 shots of espresso, like the equivalent. I was like, all right, perfect. Put 4 shots of espresso in the nitro and give it to me. She like looked at me. She was like, are you crazy? So she makes the drink and she hands it to me. She's like, good luck. But the crazy part about it is I didn't come back for like a month because I was like traveling. So I came back randomly and I ordered another coffee. She sees me. She's like, oh my God, thank God. I go, what? She goes, I thought I killed you. I was like, no, girl, you're good. I drank that and fell asleep like 4 hours later. So yeah, I'm like, I'm bad. I need to wean myself off the caffeine, honestly.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, I do. You know? I know my weaknesses. Most of them.
Okay, so what are 2 more, 3 more?
2 more, 3 more?
3 more weaknesses, yeah.
I don't have that many. I'm a Libra.
That's one. That's another one right there.
Right there. She just said it. So I can be a little bit of a workaholic, but okay. I know that's the nature of the beast right now. It's just temporary. I feel like I'm at an interview where they're like, what's your biggest weakness? And I kind of try to want to make it sound like a strength. So yeah, I would say like I tend to have a lot of like defense mechanisms. Like, I struggle with trusting people.
You defense mechanism?
Yeah. I don't trust very often because number one, you can't trust a man to do a woman's job. That's one.
Wow.
I'm just kidding. I'm playing.
Wow.
But like, I think that, I've been trying to get there, but there's like 2 people in the world, I think. People that are like so comfortable with forfeiting trust up front. And I think that's beautiful because they're just like so fearless. I'm like, wow. And there's people that are like, you got to earn it. And so you really got to earn my trust. Like that's
where the star comes from, huh?
That is where the star comes from.
Okay.
You're learning fast.
Listen.
You're going to love this book. I'm telling you.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm an analyst. I take it all in and I dissect and
listen, I'm going to come to the studio. I'm going to give you a signed copy just from me.
I need that.
Yes.
But what we're also going to do, and I was going to save this till the end of the episode, but we're going to buy 3 copies of the books and we're going to give them out on behalf of Attractive Mindset. Aww. So if you tap in and you put the code I don't know.
No, drop your red flag.
Drop your red flag.
Yeah.
You got to send 3 red flags because that's my favorite number. 3 red flags to us, and you'll get a copy of the book.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
You're so sweet. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. So now, you being a digital nomad, where the fuck is your stuff?
So I do have a house. I'm not like completely homeless.
Okay.
I own a house in Charlotte, North Carolina.
So you're a fake digital nomad.
Well, I go there like once every 2 months and like I'll like get new outfits. Like, but I have like 2 huge luggage that I travel with. So I have probably like, I like literally every time they charge me extra for being like at 70 pounds and all this stuff.
Jesus.
So I gotta, but it's worth it because I have all my stuff. I like having my things, but it's definitely a different place to be because it's very transient. Like, I don't have everything I want. I'm like, damn, I really have those heels back at home, So, but the thing that was really a blessing for me was I always wanted to be in a position financially where I could buy my family a house. Like, my aunt and uncle like really helped raise me, and my grandparents aren't living, or so they were huge contributors to my success in my life. And so I wanted to be able to do that one day. And so I decided that since I'm not living there anymore, I'm like, all right, I want you guys to live in my house. They're like, we would love to move there. We would love to go. I was like, oh my God, that's perfect. So it's like my indirect way of being able to like buy my family a house, So it's so exciting that I got to experience this because they're moving like this winter and we're going to spend our first holiday together. And they're only a couple states away now versus being in New York, so it's so much better. I'm like, thank God I don't have to go back.
Yeah. New York is so dealing with customs.
Yeah.
Do you get used to that? Because I'm going to say something which is going to absolutely blow your mind.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
I warned you beforehand.
Yeah. So
I went on my first vacation ever this year.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. What?
See, I told you.
Wait, but I feel like maybe you're saying like vacation, like long, like you've gone on like short vacations, right?
No.
What?
Yep, no.
How did it feel?
Good, but normal.
Okay, good. That's really good.
Good, but normal.
Like this should be my life normal, right? Like I want this to be
because it didn't feel that different from my everyday life.
Okay.
It was a change of scenery, though.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Where'd you go?
Mexico.
Where in Mexico?
Tulum.
Oh.
Yeah, so I got a private
villa
in Tulum, and we was just there,
Tulum's
pool on the rooftop, and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
We got the mariachi band and a private chef and all of that. It was great.
Yeah, amazing.
But I'm like, I just used it to isolate.
Okay.
I didn't really.
Did you go by yourself?
No.
Okay.
And so I used it to isolate, and in my isolation, I don't know. I treated it more like isolation. Like I didn't really want to do shit out there.
Yeah, yeah.
And I did.
Yeah.
I went into a cave filled with fucking bats. And
nice.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
And watched somebody almost drown with a life jacket on somehow.
Oh God. Okay.
But yeah.
It happens sometimes.
But yeah, no, it was cool. It was cool.
So when's the next vacation?
See, now here comes the customs part.
Okay.
When I got back, me having to wait like 2.5 hours, I said, oh no.
Yeah.
And so you don't get tired of that?
Well, because like I'm staying in places so like I spent almost a month in Paris.
Okay. So you're there for so long.
So yeah, so getting the luggage through customs isn't really a problem. It's just the drugs.
I feel that.
Yeah. No, I mean, like it never bothers me because like again, like I would never like if I was nomading to different countries every single week, it'd be harder. But like stayed in France, I went to Saint-Tropez, like in the French Riviera for a few weeks. So again, I was staying in France. Then I went to Croatia. I did Yacht Week, which was insane, like beyond words. And so I got to see like a lot of that area, which was gorgeous. And then I went to Turkey, Istanbul.
Are you on your second passport? Like I know you gotta like fill out the pages.
No, but I was scared though. I was like, shit, I'm gonna run out of room. Like if you run out of room while you're international, you gotta like get new pages before you know.
Oh.
Yeah. So I was like, shit, I better have enough.
Damn, okay.
Yeah. But
Okay.
I love, like, one of the things I love the most about Europe is the trains. Like, I love taking the trains throughout the countryside because, like, you get, like, there's bars on there. You can eat food. You can set up your little desk and work on Wi-Fi. Like, it's amazing. And you're seeing, like, all the countryside. Like, the first time I went to Europe, I went through all of Italy, and it was, like, gorgeous. Like, I was like, oh, my God, this is beautiful.
What's your favorite genre of music?
Favorite genre of music? I can't. The Libra's coming out of me. I can't choose a favorite, but I actually have like this favorite that's like a one-off that I just absolutely love, like to listen when I'm in a vibe, and that's like Cello by Yo-Yo Ma, which is like all instrumental. But then I also like chill like R&B music. So like I like everything, honestly.
Because you were a singer, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, once a singer, always a singer.
Yeah, pretty much.
Can we hear a note?
Listen,
just like a sentence.
I just actually recorded a song. It was just for fun before I left.
You can't say that and you're not going to do it.
It's just not happening.
Why?
Because I just, I don't feel comfortable with that.
What?
No.
Just one
note. I need the auto tune, y'all.
Just one
I'm
note.
not playing.
We could put it on in post.
Just one note.
I'll be like T-Pain it,
Yeah, we can put it on in post.
Yeah.
At the bartender.
See, look, I can hear you carrying the note already.
I know, because I feel like if I do it now, then because Brendan's like, oh, you ain't going to sing. You're not going to spit some bars.
But did you have a mic?
I had a mic on.
Exactly. That's not the same. This is that type of mic.
Is it?
It is.
It's really his.
It is.
This is ASMR.
Yes.
ASMR.
Very much so.
Wow.
Locked in.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm going to be the first one to send you my song when it's out.
You heard that? Can we keep her to that? And we're going to clip that.
I will literally.
Timestamp that.
It's clipped.
You got my distance pinky swear. And kiss it. You got it.
There we go.
It's a promise.
I took it still. I know what the time.
Boom. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
So Dinah, you are an amazingly fun individual that travels everywhere, drinks a shit ton of caffeine.
Yeah.
Evolved Libra.
Yeah.
1111. Toxic.
But
looking for top 1%.
Yeah.
That's a good myriad of things.
Yeah. I feel like I add a lot of value. I think I have a lot to offer. So like, why wouldn't I look for that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You deserve it.
Thank you.
100%. Well,
I'm sure your wife is an amazing girl too. Because you are very great.
Well, I'm not married.
Okay, girlfriend. I was just, I was speaking for her, like, go ahead about that question.
I'm not married. But I'm going to get married.
Beautiful.
I'm going to get married. I want kids, I want all that. I don't have kids or anything like that right now, but it's there.
When the time is ready. Yeah.
It's just there. It's there. I have my life isn't easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. As the guys, you really have to, I don't know. It's just like, see, now I'm like you. I'm like, I don't want to sound cocky or overconfident with it, but it's just
go off.
When I know what I bring.
Exactly.
And so when I know what I bring, it's like a different conversation when it comes to relationships.
Yeah.
Because just like we talked about earlier, I'm out. Like if I don't feel a certain type of way,
what's the most important thing to you in a relationship? Like the most important?
That's a good question. Have you ever thought about doing a podcast?
I don't know. Maybe I should. I told you toxic therapy.
Toxic.
You want to be one of my guests?
Absolutely.
Okay.
But I'm not toxic. Whoa, what is that face? I am not toxic.
You sure about that?
Yeah. Very,
okay.
Very sure.
Okay, sure.
I'm not toxic.
Get on my couch. We'll find out.
I got you. But what's the most important to me? I would say what do you want to hear?
I want to hear the truth.
Mm-hmm. Maneuverability.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you?
That means that they understand the art of pivot. Because I haven't fully discovered myself yet.
Wow.
And so I need them to understand that I'm still changing.
Yeah. Yeah. You need somebody to be able to evolve with you.
Correct.
Absolutely.
Correct.
And I think that comes down to and it's funny, I just had this conversation last night with a good friend of mine. It's like people get to a certain age and they think they figured it all out. And that's the moment they stop living.
Correct.
And, I think it takes a certain person to know, like, I will always be learning, which means I'll always be changing. And so that's why I think we see people that go like 15, 20 years and just randomly get divorced, because I think they stop learning. They stop like accepting that they're not always right and that they need to keep evolving, and still find passion, like no matter what age you are. So I think like the ingredients, like and again, this is my very novice, like I have not 20 years of experience in a relationship, but I think you have to have like a couple fundamental things that are the same, right? Like it's almost like, building a house, like you have like the foundation, like the same, like maybe you both believe in God and you both believe in personal development, or, striving for greatness or leaving a purpose or whatever, right? Or family. And then like you have these layered things on top that change over time. But if you can still have that solid foundation carrying its weight, like you can maybe go off in different directions. Maybe your girlfriend is like, I love, riding horses or going on, hiking or whatever it is. And you're like, she's obsessed with it. And she's like, okay, do you? But like, we're still going to have those things be the same.
Facts, exactly. And so with you having trust issues, how long would you have to be in a relationship before you accept somebody popping the question?
Oh my God. Wow. With the juicy question. So here's what I'll say. There's like, like the stages of a relationship, right? Like maybe through like the therapy. Off rip, I can't remember them all, but I'll say this. There's always a bliss point, right? That, oh my God.
You're in super love up front.
And that's when I think a lot of mistakes happen, because you confuse that for being sustainable. And so when you get out of that bliss point, that's when what's called the power struggle happens. Power struggle is when things start to settle. It's like the truth gets told, like you see like the bad sides of them that you didn't see before because you were kind of wanting to believe, what you wanted to believe in somebody versus what they really were and the whole side of them, right? And then that's when usually triggers come out and the toxic languages show themselves. So, for me, it's like, I think that I would want to be in something past that, that gets through the power struggle successfully, that is not confused by the bliss point, because it feels good every time. And so once we can get through that successfully, I think that would be a great time for that to, shoot, if that happens in like 2 months, yeah, let's do it. So I know what I want. And, I'm looking for now, before I used to look for just one of the two things, like compatibility or chemistry. But I've realized like it has to be both. So, I've had amazing, beautiful relationships with people that were like just not compatible because they were at different places in their life. And so I'm like, well, what's the purpose of falling in love with somebody that's, not at the same place as you are in life, because they're not ready for the things you're ready for. And so I'm like, you just hurt yourself. And so I'm like, all right, so compatibility, chemistry, that's what I'm looking for. And I kind of have this like 3 thing that I look for. Like I say, I only look for 3 things in my partner, my perfect partner. And that's somebody that meets me, that we have a physical connection, a soul connection, and a mental connection. Those are the only 3 things that are like what I use to determine like the ultimate partner in
so
my life.
So you don't want them to be emotional?
Do I want them to be? Yeah. I think vulnerability is what makes you connect with somebody.
You didn't mention that. You said 3 things.
Yeah, that's the soul connection.
Oh.
Yeah, so for me, it's like I've only had 2 out of 3. I've never had 3 out of 3. So when I have that 3 out of 3, I'll know. I'm like, yeah, that's it.
And which 2 are the normal ones that you have?
They've all been different. Sometimes we have great mental connection and soul connection, but the physical is not quite there. Sometimes the physical is great, but there's no mental connection. Like it's always been varying, attributions of that, but never 3 out of 3.
And so when you say physical, do you mean that they're present or sexual?
Physical, like the sexual part of it.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, Dinah,
I have a lot of theories, I guess.
This was great. So where can everybody find this book? What's the name of this book?
This book is The 5 Toxic Languages.
5 Toxic Languages.
That's right.
When will it come out?
It drops on the 14th, which is this Saturday. So October 14th, 2023, if you're watching this in the future or whatever. So it's in Amazon. It'll be on Audible. That's submitted. So I don't know when they're going to prove it, probably by this Saturday, I'm hoping. So soon to release on Audible. And then it's going to be distributed. I have a distribution deal that's going to be in Barnes and Noble, Walmart, and like 50 other like locations and things. So yeah.
Doing it big already out the gate.
Go big or go home.
I
you know?
No,
So, yeah.
That's great.
And my Instagram is Dinah Sade on Instagram, and then follow 5 Toxic Languages on Instagram as well. Oh, and one thing I forgot to mention, there's a quiz.
Ooh.
So if you don't know what love language you are, you go to 5toxiclanguages.com and take the quiz. And that way, if you're like, I just want to find out what my toxic language is, you could just go straight to that part of the book.
You have the full package going on. Okay. Now I like
That's
that.
right.
That's definitely dope. So
Yeah.
I appreciate you taking the time to just
Likewise.
come on here. We know you digital nomads are all over the place, but you sat here for about an hour and we really appreciate it. It was a
love
good time.
this. This was like so like enriching. So thank you. I appreciate it.
This is, I don't feel bad saying this is one of my top interviews that I've had.
I love it.
And
Same.
so,
thank you.
Hey.
Hopefully I'll be back.
I'm about to say that. You're definitely gonna come back. And
I'm gonna have my song playing behind me, like, oh.
She's gonna sing when she comes back because we clipped it.
Yeah.
But she's also gonna tell us how the book has been going.
I will.
And if maybe she found a partner by then.
Oh, yes. I know. I'll be like,
Maybe what if, okay, so I'm gonna present you something. What if your future partner reads this book and then reaches out to you and says, I can fix all that shit?
Ooh. I mean, I'm not going to say that was the goal, but if it's a byproduct, I'm not mad at that.
Okay.
Drake, I'm looking for you. Drake, read my book, okay? Read it.
Aubrey.
I'll be a great baby mama.
Baby mama?
What?
No. Libras, fair. Well, it was amazing having Dinah on the show. If you like this episode, make sure you share this with a friend. Again, we have 3 copies that we're going to get and we are going to give out, and maybe Dinah's going to sign them.
Of course.
And the first 3 people that send us 3 red flags is going to get an exclusive signed copy of the 5 Toxic Languages by Dinah herself. And trust me, you're not going to want to miss out on this book. So as we always say, we look good, we live good, life is good. Talk to us, we talk back, and we are out of here.